Welcome to the Clinical Cookout. Cookout.
You know you need it, it's kinda scary, but mental health is necessary. Four educated queens taking the lead, hold their hands and they'll help you succeed. Lay your head back, relax, just like that. Now listen to, learn, and your problems will burn away. Cookout, you know, we got just what you need. At the cookout, your heart and mind we will be. At the cookout.
This podcast is for educational purposes only. We are qualified clinicians who will cover various topics on mental health and will sometimes provide community resources. We are not being paid by any organization for our content, and any information we provide is general and pertains to our own personal experiences. We do not provide psychotherapy, diagnoses, or treatment recommendations on air. Any concerns related to your individual mental health should be directed to your medical and mental health professionals. We are not responsible for others' decisions or the subsequent consequences.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Clinical Cookout. It's time for our hot sauce.
Our hot sauce is when we talk about trending topics and we relate them to mental health. Let's get it.
All right, y'all. So today for our hot sauce, to kind of go in line with our theme of this week, which is racial trauma, I wanted to touch on something that I saw on social media a couple weeks ago that Jamie Foxx said. So in case y'all didn't see it, Jamie Foxx made a post, and that post got taken all types of left by people who really just don't understand African American or Black vernacular, or understand some of our phrases or terms or things that are well known to us but might not be well known to others. So I'm gonna tell y'all what he said and how it was taken. So he made a post and it said, "They killed this dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? Fake friends, fake love." Now, all Black people seemingly knew what that meant. If you ever been to church, you have heard that. Like, they killed Jesus, what would they do for you? Well, a few people decided that this was an anti-Semitic comment. And Black people were like, where? Like, do y'all not understand the context of this comment? And so I wanted to talk today in the hot sauce about how do we feel when people misunderstand our speak. Like, we have a certain language that we as Black people understand, and when other people try to step in and get in our business, they might mess it up or take it the wrong way. So what do y'all think?
Honestly, it burns my ass. I'll just say it burns my ass.
Flames.
And the reason why I say it like that is because I think that there's this hyper awareness now to be politically correct, and there's this hyper awareness around, oh, now everything is racist, or everything is now everything's now a slur or a term that's being taken out of context. Everything. So when things are being discussed within our community and people jump over into our community and never even took the time out to get to know us in the first place, and then take something like that had absolutely nothing to do with anything to do with Jewish people at all, and take that out of context, it really burns me, because I'm tired of we already have to explain ourselves. Now we have to explain our intercommunication with each other, all because someone decided to jump into something that they had no clue about. Burns my ass.
The thing about that comment is that, every Black household done said it, because it's like kind of the sticks and stones of our
Mm-hmm.
of our culture, where they talked about Jesus. What make you think they don't talk about you? Like, that's really what gets us through. That's what curbs a lot of anxiety, because a lot of times you walking into the room and you scared of people and what they're going to say about you. You scared of everything, like the negative feedback. And the first thing my grandmother said, "Girl, they talked about Jesus. They're going to talk about you. It's fine." So it's really helpful. But when, this, first of all, I don't like African American vernacular English. I don't know whatever happened to Ebonics, but just the way that we communicate with each other, nobody is supposed to understand that. That's the thing. It's not supposed to be for everybody. That's why everybody can't get it.
I am all about gatekeeping it. Like, some people have a problem with gatekeeping, but in certain things we need to, so we can avoid problems like this. Because the two issues with this whole thing was it wasn't even a Jewish person who was offended. Jennifer Aniston made it a problem, the actress. She made it an issue. And I'm like, ma'am, like, you ain't even, why are you in this business? And then this idea, it bothered me because I'm like, why is it such a horrible thing when other groups get offended, or something is said that could offend other groups, but people can say whatever they want about us and nobody ever has to explain themselves. It's been comedians and people all over that say things about Black people all the time, and I don't see the uproar behind that. And I'm like, so it's okay when it's us, when we're the target, but it's never okay when somebody else is the target. And that's my issue. And I hate that we have to explain ourselves. Like, I'm not explaining myself for something that you shouldn't have been a part of in the first place.
I'm sorry, Ashley, but there was no target. That's the problem. There was no target. There was Black people talking to Black people saying, if people talk about you, people are going to talk about the most well-known person in the world. What makes you any different? Like, that is all that was. It had nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with that.
Well, let me give you a little bit of context. The reason why they took it there is because he said they killed Jesus. And I guess the anti-Semitic part was because for generations and generations, it's been a common slur that Jewish people killed Jesus. And they don't like that. They don't like being that. So my thing is, though, with Jamie Foxx's specific tweet wording, he said they. If you ain't the they, why you hollering? Hit dogs holler. Why would I? Who's they? They could be anybody.
Which is why it's an issue that they center themselves in a conversation that had nothing to do with them. We wasn't even talking.
So looking for reasons to be like, some people look for reasons to be like, oh no, I'm not associated with that, because in a lot of entertainment is run by the Jewish culture. So when you don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be associated with something that could shut me down too. That's really more so what it is in that respect. But as far as our actual community and the way we speak to each other, it's not for everybody to understand. The great Denzel Washington said something about a hot comb, and that the culture is when you hear about when it hits the back of your neck, you know how that feels. Like, it's different, is what I'm saying. Okay, I can't quote it, but what he's saying is that culture and just being African American are two different things. We are a subculture within the American culture, and so everybody's not supposed to understand us. They don't get it. What's the name? Jaheim said we fabulous. That's why we are the way we are. And I think that everybody wants a piece of that pie, but they don't understand what they're eating. I be deep.
I love that. Everybody wants a piece of pie, but they don't know what they eat. They don't know the flavor. They don't know they don't know how it's made. None of that. But I do get irritated with that, because I feel like even when I'm like out in public with my family or with my kids, like I say stuff to my kids like, I'm gonna chop you in your throat if you don't sit down, right? And if somebody that is not us walked up and seen that, they would think I'm actually gonna chop my kid in the throat. That's child abuse, which is not the case. It's just like, you need to sit down or we're gonna leave or whatever. But stuff like that, it makes me feel like I have to I can't be myself when I'm out in public.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have to censor myself in that way when I'm out in public. I should be able to be who I am without the fear that somebody who's non-Black is going to hear something I say and call somebody on me because they don't understand what I'm saying. So it is really irritating that we can't just be in this world. And the reason that we can't be is because the perspectives or the views that other people have on our community, and they always want to be all up in our business. Like, you don't want to have nothing to do with us, but you want to be all up in our business and what we're doing, how we're talking, how we're living in this world. And a lot of that comes from history and just people not being able to form their own views. They're getting this from what they've heard from their parents and grandparents and all of that. So I do know that our episode, we're about to hit on a lot of that stuff, especially in terms of racial trauma, but also how that has affected us as beings now. In America and in the world.
Dr.